This trail is a very popular trail here in Studio City. It's called the Betty B. Deering Mountain Trail, and I'm gonna film it. A little bit of stretching before we start. What I like about this trail is that it is literally 5 minutes from my house. So I live in a very busy area of Studio City. I drive 5 minutes and I'm in kind of wilderness. I mean, it's very popular, so there's lots of people and dogs. One of the things I really like about this trail is that the hardest part is in the very beginning. So you go up a fairly steep incline, I'd say in the first, or inclines in the first 10 minutes or so, and then it kind of evens out and gets easier. So you get the hardest part over with in the beginning. And it is mostly a paved trail. It does turn into dirt in certain parts, but it is a very well traversed trail. Yeah, so we're only like 10 minutes into the trail and it's already significantly climbed in elevation here. Get some really nice views overlooking the valley and see some really nice vegetation on the way. These berries are all over the place right now. I don't know if they're holly berries, but it is January in LA and I'm seeing them everywhere. So here's where the trail starts to flatten out. We've sort of reached pretty high elevation at this point. There's still further to go, but now it's a little bit less of an incline, a little bit more level and gradual. And down below is Ventura Boulevard, the heart of Studio City. I'm going to zoom in on the shopping plaza, the one with the rounded, sort of almost Russian Orthodox looking bulbs on the end and the red on the right. That is the shopping plaza where my fiance has his recording studio. That is Ventura Boulevard. If I scan this way, let me see if I can get it. And then that road going back is Laurel Canyon Boulevard. Heart of Studio City. Another good vista, a good vista point. There's several on this trail. This is for anybody who is a beginner hiker, inexperienced. This is a super non-scary, I don't want to say easy, because you definitely get a little bit of a workout in that first incline. You can hear that I'm out of breath, but I've taken my mom, who's 81, on this trail before, and she's done it. But is definitely not a scary trail. The trail is always really wide for me if I'm hiking, and a trail is high up, but then it starts to get narrow where like only one or two people can pass shoulder to shoulder. That's not a trail I want to be on because I have a fear of heights. So this is not like that at all. This is a very mild, very non-scary, very pretty urban trail. So I've now reached the top or the middle of the trail. It's the middle of the loop for sure, and it's an area where Tree People, which is an environmental organization, has their, I guess, offices right up on the hill, little hill behind me. This is definitely busier than most weekdays, I realize, because it is a holiday. So today's Monday, Martin Luther King Day, so a lot of people are off from school. So there's a lot of families and kids on the trail. And even though it is a pretty busy trail during the week, definitely really busy on the weekends, it's not always this busy. What I love about this part of the trail is that there's a ton of eucalyptus trees. Here's a small batch of eucalyptus right here. And there's various other kinds hanging that you pass by. So it smells pretty good. So after that midpoint of the trail or the top of the trail, you start to very gradually head down. And on this side of the mountain, things get noticeably shadier and much cooler and even a little damper. So it's a nice little welcome cool down after you've been walking up the incline, usually in the hot sun, since I usually go in the morning. But yeah, it's all downhill from here in a good way. We're now coming to the end, I guess the official end of this trail, and as it mentions here, it then goes into a residential neighborhood. So to get back to the parking lot, you do wind up walking through a paved neighborhood alongside some really nice houses. Come out onto this cul-de-sac out here, and then this is the entrance to the neighborhood. Some of the famous residents here, most notably George Clooney, and at the end there is a Kardashian house, although I don't know which of the Kardashians live there. And one of these driveways is George Clooney's, possibly both. I do pass two with a security camera. This part here has a very lush kind of rainforesty feel, very shaded, very wet. Lots of vegetation, lots of ivy. Do be careful when you are walking on this trail. It is a residential neighborhood, so cars will come around pretty quickly. So you want to stay off to the side, especially because the electric vehicles you can't often hear. So you want to just be aware of that. And you just follow this road all the way to the end, and then you veer right. You kind of just keep heading downhill, and that will take you back to the parking lot. More pretty eucalyptus trees here. And I forget what these flowers are called, bougainvillea maybe? But you follow this street to the end to Fryman Road, and then you take a left, and that brings you back to the parking lot. And we've arrived back at the very, very busy parking lot of this trail. But I actually parked in the street, so I'm going to head back that way. So that is the Betty B. Deering Trail. I hope you enjoyed it. As I mentioned, I think it's a great, convenient, easy, not too scary trail if you are visiting Los Angeles. But do note, it does absolutely have wildlife. I have seen about 3 rattlesnakes over the 6 or 7 years that I've been hiking it, so not that many. I've seen a king snake, which is not venomous. And I've seen a couple of coyotes, once during the day and once around dusk. So you absolutely have to be aware of your surroundings. And also, if you are visiting LA, you should be aware of your surroundings, because it's totally common to see celebrities on the trail as well, in case you're interested in that. But I hope that was informative. That trail takes about a little less than an hour to do if you are just walking the whole way. If you're going to be stopping and taking pictures, that'll take a little bit longer. And it's approximately 3 miles. So if you're visiting LA and you want an easy trail to check out, I would recommend it. But I hope that was helpful. Thanks so much.